This video will highlight the capabilities to use Outlook for meetings. The difference between an appointment and a meeting is that an appointment typically only includes yourself, whereas a meeting involves details about other people in your organization that need to be there as well. To create a new appointment, click New Appointment on the top left-hand side of the screen from the Home ribbon tab in the calendar. You can give your appointment a subject. This is what's going to be seen in the calendar screen area. You can give your appointment a location, though you certainly don't have to. In this case, it's a coffee networking event that's held at the local coffee shop. Now let's choose the start date and time of our event. I can click the calendar icon, choose a date and time, and I can navigate through the months by clicking these black triangles. I'll create one on Monday, November 16th. I can also choose a time. I'll click the black arrow next to the time, and I can choose an appropriate time slot for the appointment to start. I can also choose an end time. If this appointment does not have a particular end time, I can mark it as an all-day event. An all-day event is something that's going to be happening all day, which really doesn't have a start time or an end time. I can also click into the body of the appointment. I can include some notes about this if I want to, though I certainly don't have to. Though this is a personal event, it contains other attendees from other locations, so I'll just include that here. There's a few more things I can do. I can also include a time zone, which is useful if I travel a lot and need to make sure that I know what time zone my event is happening in. I can choose to set a reminder on this event. It defaults to 15 minutes, though I can certainly turn it off if I want to by selecting None. I can choose how I want to show my time. If I show my time as busy, this is going to mean that other people cannot schedule me for meetings while I'm at this event. Finally, I can make it a recurring event. This coffee networking event happens every Monday at 8:30 in the morning. So I'll click Recurrence, and now I can choose the pattern. It always starts at 8:30 in the morning. The duration is half an hour, and I need to choose the pattern. It occurs weekly, every Monday. I can even have it occur twice a week by electing Monday and Wednesday, or I can have it occur every other week by putting a 2 in the Recur field. There's a lot of flexibility here. Finally, I have to choose the range of the occurrence. I know it starts on the 16th, but I can choose the end date. If it ends on a particular date, I can select End By and put that date here. If it ends after a certain number of recurrences, I can put that number here to have it occur only a set number of times. This is really useful if you're taking a 6-week course, for example, and you need to put a reminder in your calendar. I'll click the blue OK button. When I'm all done, I'll click Save and Close, and my appointment's been created. I can see that it's recurring because it has the 2 circular arrows here. To edit this event, I can double-click on the event, and I'll be prompted which one I want to open. I can open the entire series. Maybe the time is changing for all events, or the location, or just this one. For now, I'll click just this one because I want to add a different attendee who's going to be here this week. I'll click Save and Close, and I've made my change. Let's take a close look at recurrence. When we recur a meeting, we're going to set up a series of meetings, and each and every one of them will be placed on our calendar. I would like to meet every week, and let's say we want to do this through the end of the second quarter, so let's end this at the end of June. Here's our 30-minute meeting recurring. It's helpful to review the information at the top, such as the appointment time, start, end, time zone, duration. Then I get to choose the pattern. Do I want it to recur daily, weekly, monthly, or yearly? If I choose daily, then it will occur every day, or can I say every weekday? Meaning, is this every single day or every day that I'm in the office? Weekly, how often? Every week? Every 2 weeks? If I choose monthly, though, notice that detecting the pattern is a little bit more difficult. Is the pattern that I want to meet every month on the 15th, or every 2 months, or 3 months on the 15th? Or do I really mean the third Tuesday of every month, every other month, every third month? Because choosing the 15th could mean either of these. And then we have yearly. When I say yearly, do I mean March 15th or do I mean the third Tuesday of March? Those are my recurrence choices. I'm going to choose weekly on Tuesdays and click OK. Notice the recurrence occurs every Tuesday. There's the description. Looks good. And now I'm going to send this, and those events have been placed on my calendar. Now what happens if I want to change one of these? As I review my schedule, I realize I will not be in the office on April 5th. I can simply double-click and I'm asked with the recurring meeting, do I want to open this one or do I want to open the entire series? If I want to change something about all of them, then I choose the entire series. If I want to change just one, I can change just this one. And say actually that week, let's meet on the 7th and send an update. It says you changed the date of this occurrence. Do you want to change them all? If so, open the series. Nope, just this one. And I say yes. So this series, which typically meets on Tuesdays, now has an occurrence on a Thursday. If I open the entire series, it still tells me that it recurs on Tuesdays effective 3/15 all the way to the 30th of June. If I go into that recurrence and make changes and decide that we're going to do it every 2 weeks on Tuesdays, if I've changed any specific appointments in that series, which I have in this case, moving one of them to Thursday, all of those changes will be canceled because what I'm doing is stamping a whole new recurrence pattern on those appointments. So from this series of behaviors, we can discern a rule for how you want to set up recurring meetings. First, you want to set up the pattern. If you have a monthly meeting that is usually on the second Tuesday of the month, but a few are different, set up the second Tuesday of the month recurrence, then move the meetings that are different. Let's say that I want to cancel this. I want to go back out of here and I'm going to send whatever updates. It says, hey, you haven't made any changes. I say, okay then, there's nothing to send. Let's just close this, and there's my meeting still there on the 7th. When you look at your calendar, it's tempting to think that these appointments or events as simply placeholders that hang onto some time for us so we can complete work on our own or work with others. But they're actually much more than that because each of these appointment forms is also a container. If you have documents, links, text, video, or other information that's related to an appointment, you can store those items directly in the appointment form. By keeping all the information for an appointment in one place, right here in Outlook, we save time later because we're not searching through folders or through our OneDrive or any place else to find things that we need to have for a particular appointment or meeting. So I'm going to open my advisory committee appointment and we're going to put some things in it. If I click Insert, look at all these different things that I can add. In this case, I want to add a file for this particular meeting. We will be talking about a topic for which I have some information in a document. Notice that if I click the drop down, it will let me find recent items or go browse for the particular file that I'm looking for. So I could attach a contact. I could attach a calendar item. Let's say, for example, I want to provide some information to people attending the meeting about Inga, who will be going to the meeting, but no one knows who that is. So I can attach an Outlook item. It attaches Inga's entire Outlook information, and that might include notes that I have about them. I don't want to do that necessarily always, so what I could do is I could use instead Inga's business card, and if I did that, it would only include the fields that would go on the business card, including her picture. They'll know what she looks like, and they'll also have her email address. So there's the contrast between attaching an Outlook item, which is everything you've added for that person's contact, or a business card. Notice that I also can sign this. That's not a useful thing for me in this circumstance. I can insert a table, I can add pictures that I go retrieve from online. I can add shapes, smart art, charts, and screenshots. So if I had a screenshot that illustrated something that I wanted to show at this meeting, I could do that. I could also insert hyperlinks, and the hyperlink that I want is actually an existing file or web page, but I don't want to browse to it. I could, but perhaps I already have this open. In this case, I could have copied the URL because that's the same thing that we're going to do here. So I'm going to simply go to the browser where I already identified the URL to lynda.com. This is the first course that I want people to look at, and I can just right-click, copy this shortcut. Back now to our advisory committee. I didn't ever have to open that dialog box to be able to paste this particular hyperlink in. There we go. But if I wanted to choose a hyperlink this way, I could. I could go to different pages that I browsed, including files, or a link to a particular file. I can insert quick parts, word art, all kinds of things. I'm not going to insert in this kind of appointment. I have a document, I have a business card file, and if I remove that, it's going to leave Inga out of this appointment. So I'm going to actually attach her contact again because I prefer doing that in this setting. And anything else I want to add. When I get ready then for my appointment, I can simply open up my appointment form. When I get ready for my meeting, I can open the meeting form, and when we work with task, when I'm ready to do the task, open the task form. So in summary, this appointment form is more than simply space on my calendar. It's a container where I can collect all kinds of relevant information that will help me complete my work most efficiently. If you have contents in your calendar in Outlook, maybe meeting details for example, that you would like to store in OneNote, you can do that. And likewise, if you have information in OneNote that you would like to include in an Outlook item, you can do that. So if I want meeting details, I go up to the ribbon with the Home tab selected, insert meeting details right there at the very end. Give it a click. If I have any meetings scheduled for today, they'll be listed here under Today's Meetings. Here's a meeting, launch meeting to the user conference. I give it a click and the details are inserted as a note right here on my page. Now I can go inside that container and look at the details. I can link directly to that item in Outlook. If Outlook's not already running, it will be launched and take me directly to that item in my calendar. I can look at the invitation message by expanding that and collapsing it when I don't need it. And then down below, I can see who's participating, who was invited to the meeting. I can collapse that and expand it as well. Also, there's an area for additional notes that can be added here in OneNote. So that's one way. Let's go to another page here. We'll go to the week of October 5th and let's add a new page below. So click the plus sign to the left that's slightly lower than the week of October 5th so it appears underneath, and we'll type in meeting details. So the details for the week of October 5th manager meeting could be found in Outlook, but there's another option, choosing a meeting from another day. So this opens a dialog where we can go browsing through the days of the week if we wanted to, using the arrows, or click the calendar icon to go directly to a date like October 5th. There's a manager meeting right there, and I can insert the details by clicking Insert Details. There we go, in their own container again with a link to that item. I can expand the message, see who's participating, and add additional notes here in OneNote. So you can do all of that right from within OneNote. If you happen to be in Outlook, you can do the reverse. If we switch to Outlook, you can see I'm running Outlook here. I'm going to close up what I see here in this meeting and go back to Outlook looking at my calendar. Look at this, on October 5th, there's the manager meeting. So with it selected, I see meeting details like meeting notes. I can use OneNote to add notes to this meeting or open notes already associated with this meeting. So it's going to allow me to go get those details if I wanted to. Give it a click and you'll see there's actually the details showing up behind, and I can share notes with the meeting or take notes on my own. So again, sharing means having a notebook in a shared location. Taking notes on your own allows you to send those notes and have these notes in your personal notebook in OneNote. For further training on Outlook, you are encouraged to watch the other videos in this series.